I'm Alan Morgan, founder of the indie project Planet Postmoderna. Planet Postmoderna is a free-to-play, sci-fi based, online multiplayer game in which players by the thousands can play online at the same time in a real cash economy, which is an economic model in which everything in the world has a translated real-world value. So basically you're able to play this sci-fi based game, own land, build on it, own property, buy and sell, trade, manufacture, whatever you want to do, in which you can actually make money off of that. It is a free-to-play game, which means you really don't have to pay anything to play the game. You can download the game, go and explore to your heart's content, but to get the maximum benefit out of the game, you probably just have to put money in and support your character, which could include everything from buying ammunition or weapons, crafting tools, mining supplies, clothing, things like that. And then you can basically manufacture these items if you choose to become a crafter, for instance, and then sell those items to other players. You can own land and basically generate revenue off that land, just like you do in Monopoly. You basically actually would pay, anybody that mines or hunts on your land, basically fees are generated from that you actually make money off. So like a real world type situation, a real cash based virtual economy generates money. When did I come up with the idea? Now, that's kind of a two-part question, because the original storyline behind Planet Postmoderna was developed from a short story that I wrote back in the early 1980s called The Advent, and it was about the second coming of Quetzalcoatl and the race of beings that basically help influence mankind coming back to basically take claim on our species. And it was kind of an end of world type storyline. And I kind of bagged it back there because I didn't really have the resources to develop into something that I wanted to develop it into, which was a interactive, immersive environment that people could actually experience instead of just reading a story or watching a movie. But back then, I was thinking obviously way ahead of my time because nothing like that existed. I just lacked the resources to do it. Recently, in 2008, I had read an article in the Wall Street Journal that talked about these two teenagers that were making about $8,000 a month selling virtual armor and virtual weapons, and that's in real world dollars. So they were making $8,000 a month. So I thought, well, that sounds really interesting, and it was relevant to a game called Entropia Universe. I went on and signed up for a free account on Entropia Universe, started playing the game. This was in the early 2008. And in the summer of 2008, Entropia Universe, the owners of it called Mindark out of Sweden, announced that they were coming out with a Planet Partner program, which would allow outside companies to come in and build a world within Entropia Universe. Basically, they would be leveraging the existing CryEngine graphics, the game engine, the economic engine, everything that was Entropia Universe. That partner planet would basically be able to leverage to create their world. All they had to do was basically supply content for their world, assets, and all that kind of thing. And I thought, wow, what a great way to be able to break into the industry, take my story back from the early 80s, and turn it into something today without any kind of experience in game development. And basically that's how that whole process started. What makes Planet Postmoderna different from other MMO-style games? Essentially, outside of our immersive storyline, which is basically based on Planet Postmoderna being the first habitable world that we've discovered since space travel was made first possible. It was actually built for us. It was actually manufactured by a super race for us to find someday. And then on this world, there's a whole bunch of subworlds that are based on historical content and timelines from our own history that we're supposed to learn from in order for us to be able to make it to the next evolutionary level of our development. And essentially, we don't learn from our history, we don't have a future. That's the storyline behind the whole planet itself. But what separates this from a typical MMO style game is we're going to really put a lot of emphasis on story. I mean, like successful games like Star Wars, Old Republic, and some of the other things that are out there, story is really number one. I mean, it has to be something that engages the players and keeps them immersed, and that's really important to us on this project. Content is a big thing. Obviously you could burn out of content really, really quickly, so we have to keep that going. But the real cash economy, which is what this will be modeled under if we come on board with Entropia Universe, will give us the ability to package our entire storyline and all of the content that we want to use to make an exciting, fun game. All of it will be inside of a real cash economy. So everything in the world will actually have a real world value. So even though that this is a free-to-play game, like all the other free-to-play games out there, you actually have the ability, just like those other free-to-play games, to put money into your account, invest in your character, build your character, upgrade everything that you own, buy things, and then later on you can take money out. It's not a one-way road, it's a two-way road. So that's what separates this from every other game out there. I love Entropia Universe. I think it's one of the most dynamic, most versatile games out there, and it's ever evolving. And the opportunity for us to hopefully build Planet Postmoderna by leveraging that technology is going to be a huge win-win, because we'll be able to take the concept of Planet Postmoderna and build it in an established model, allowing us to fulfill all of the goals of Planet Postmoderna and make this a game that people will always remember. My experience as a game developer, not very much. Essentially, 4 years ago, I didn't know anything about game development. I actually learned everything that I know now on my own and with the help of my team members. I'm really good at putting together a team of people that have skill sets that I lack. That's always been kind of like a knack of mine. So I set out and I started, getting team members that had 3D experience, that had game experience. I started networking with, Autodesk and Pixelogic and they sponsored software for us, among other organizations that have come on board and kind of backed us. But I, during that process, have learned about the industry. I've learned more about what goes into building a game. It's a never-ending process. I don't think I'll ever stop learning. But I definitely know now more than I did back then, which 4 years ago I couldn't have told you what a normal map or a poly was. So in all fairness, I am not a game developer. I am a person that produces, basically, or puts together teams that actually can make something happen. And that's why we're, partnering with other organizations. The team, that's the best part of this project. We have volunteers from all over the country. We now have a team assembled that includes a writer, she basically has a list of published works already. She has a great love of the game industry, and we have the director of archaeology at the University of Northern Colorado who's helping us with historical content and research. We have designers from the Savannah School of Art and Design. We have designers and students and graduates from the Art Institute of Colorado. We have a partnership with N Games Entertainment in Denver. Their team members have extensive background in developing MMO games. We just have a great team. I mean, they're an awesome bunch of people, and I'm actually proud to have them. What we hope to achieve with the Kickstarter project is use this as a springboard to get the rest of the project going. Obviously, we need a lot more money to finish this, but our Kickstarter promotion will allow us to get the initial components of that first phase of the game finished, and that will include all the assets for our initial introductory zone, all of the quest, all the storyline, everything that we need for the initial part of the game, we can build with this money. And it will also allow us to engage people that are interested in Planet Postmoderna because of the rewards that we're putting out there for, even on the high end, as you'll probably notice, we've got land deeds that we're basically going to make available to people that put in, that donate a lot of money into this project. And a lot of that's virtual goods. That could be vehicles, it could be small objects, all kinds of different things that you actually get as being a supporter of the project. In addition to t-shirts and things like that, because we want to have a t-shirt that shows that you're a supporter of the project by saying, hey, I helped build Planet Postmoderna, things like that, so that people can actually wear that with pride and get the word out about the project so we can finish it. So basically, in summary, what I'm hoping, and anybody that is watching this and following this project, even the people that have been basically following this on our Facebook page and Twitter and our website, and have even maybe been involved in this project to a small capacity as a volunteer or a team member, we're just asking, get the word out about this project. Help support us here at Kickstarter. Help make Planet Postmoderna a reality, because I honestly believe that not only will this project be something that people can really be proud of from a development standpoint, but even as a gamer, because being able to play in Planet Postmoderna will be more than just playing a game. And I really hope that this project will launch a whole flood of potential startup companies with new ideas here in Colorado Springs and in Colorado, and hopefully put Colorado on the map with regards to media arts and game development. We've got 12 great studios here in Denver and up north in Boulder, but no one that's really developing any MMO style games. And Planet Postmoderna literally will be the very first MMO, real cash economy, virtual world project ever developed out of Colorado Springs in Colorado. I may be wrong, but I don't think so. Anyway, support us.